Welcome back to another top 10. Actually, today we're going to do something slightly different and rank every country in Epcot's World Showcase. I'll be going off of what I think are the best countries to spend your time in while dining, shopping, and in only a few cases, riding. But before we get started, I just want to tell you guys that I have a Patreon with the link in the description, so if you enjoy my channel and like to help it grow, consider joining. But since we have more than 10 entries, let's hop right into the list. Most people will overlook the African outpost and dismiss it as not part of the core of World Showcase. And I get it. It's not an official pavilion, which is why it's just an honorable mention. It's pretty much just a place to grab something quick to drink while you shop. But I'd like to shine some light on this overlooked area of Epcot. Originally, there was supposed to be an actual pavilion here for Africa back in 1983, with possible candidates being Kenya, Senegal, and the Ivory Coast. But nothing really came from the negotiations. What we got in its place was some cold refreshments and a vague African gift shop. But I can remember buying a handcrafted wood carving of a lion here back in the 90s, and I actually loved it. Hopefully one day we'll get a suitable land from an actual African nation, but until then this will remain at the bottom of the list through no fault of its own. I feel bad ranking any of these countries low on this list, because I generally think there's no bad place to visit while you're in World Showcase, but it basically comes down to three things: how much there is to do, food, and aesthetics. England has one of the best quick service places to eat with its fish and chip shop right on the waters of the World Showcase Lagoon, and if drinking is your thing, the pub is right across the street. Although I've never eaten at the Rose and Crown, I've heard nothing but good things about it. And I love shops that have candy that aren't readily available in the States. It's become one of my favorite pastimes while in Epcot, so grabbing an Aero bar is something I go out of my way for while I'm passing through the UK. But the gardens are definitely the highlight here. It's a great place to sit down for a few minutes just to appreciate the fact that you're on vacation. And the gazebo in the middle sometimes has live music at night, so this might also be a great place to wait out the few rounds that you had at the pub. You'd be hard-pressed to find another pavilion made with more love and care put into it than Morocco's. King Hassan II sent his best artisans and architects to build the many mosaics and buildings here in the early 80s. They took this undertaking so seriously that they put small imperfections into the facade of the buildings because, in their culture, only God could be without flaws. And if you stay for the fireworks, you'll notice that Norway and Morocco are the only countries not illuminated at night. That's because for religious reasons, the biggest building in the pavilion is a mosque which is unable to be lit up. So for synergy reasons, Norway is without light since they're right across from each other. But it's a great time just walking through these intricate streets and shops scattered throughout the area. The last time I was here with my father, we ate at Marrakesh and the food was amazing. Although I believe that restaurant is under new management, so the results may vary. But if you've been recently, let me know how your experience was. Okay, so I hope my cousin isn't watching this, because this is his favorite pavilion and World Showcase. But back in 2019, we met up in Epcot, and his favorite thing to do was watch the a cappella group Voices of Liberty in the American Adventure Show building. He told me for the best experience, we need to sit on the floor because of the acoustics in the venue. And he was right. I'm not a big fan of watching stage shows, especially on vacation, but I was blown away by how talented all the singers were. While I probably wouldn't go out of my way to do this again by myself, but I could definitely see the appeal of why people love this so much. Also, this building is home to the American Adventure attraction, which is pretty similar to the Hall of Presidents. It shows the history of America from the Mayflower to modern day. It's hosted by Ben Franklin and Mark Twain. As far as food goes, I probably skip it because it's pretty much just burgers and hot dogs. Unless that's all you eat, which in that case, just go wild. As someone whose family is from Italy, it's sad to see this so low on the list. The fountains and gardens are a nice touch, but there isn't much to do here. And given how small it is comparatively to other pavilions, most people just walk right by it. But rumor has it we were supposed to get our water dark right here. You would ride gondolas through Roman ruins, but the idea was scrapped due to budget cuts to Epcot in the mid-80s. With no attraction, its only saving grace is the food. You can get classic Italian dishes from Tutto Italia, or grab pizza at Via Napoli. Apparently, they use water imported from Naples in the dough to make it taste as authentic as possible, and I can attest this is on the short list for the best pizzas I've ever had. So I think we all could agree if you start your World Showcase journey in Canada instead of Mexico, you're pretty much a monster. But the only acceptable reason is if you have reservations at the Steakhouse Le Cellier. And if you have money left over for a steak after all the money you already spent on your Disney trip, I couldn't recommend this place enough. Many pavilions have a garden section, but I feel Canada has the best one. And if you need to cool off, you could watch the O Canada movie hosted by National Treasure Martin Short. Or if you just want to walk around some man made nature, they have a 30-foot waterfall to represent the Canadian Rockies. So if you're looking for something new to try, there are few places better to get lost in than the Canadian Pavilion. On the surface, if you were to pass by this pavilion, you wouldn't think there was much here. But take a few steps in, and after seeing all the ponds and architecture, you might find yourself wondering where an hour went while you have a handful of souvenirs. For those less adventurous, the Nine Dragons has your Americanized Chinese food to satisfy any picky eaters in your party. And you don't even need to sit down. There's a quick service restaurant just a few steps away. They also have a Circle Vision movie called The Reflections of China. Or if shopping is your thing, you could head to the House of Good Fortune where you could buy silks, jade carvings, candy, and more. There's even a replica of the terracotta army made entirely out of clay and the Tomb of Warrior exhibit. I'm not 100% sure if this is still here. I believe I heard it was closed, but if you've been recently, let me know if it's still standing. Anything you could possibly want in a pavilion is here in Germany. Do you like model trains? It's one of the first things you'll see once you enter this land. Have a sweet tooth? There's a caramel shop that makes most of its confections by hand. My personal favorite are the chocolate covered marshmallows. Want something to drink? I'm not much of a drinker, especially in the Orlando heat, but the grapefruit Hefeweizen is the only thing I'll consider buying when it comes to alcohol. You want an all you can eat buffet? The beer gardens have it. There are few things better than eating various breads and cheeses while being serenaded by live polka music. And finally, do you like Disney lore and attractions that were never built? Ever wonder what the unused building was next to the restaurant? We were supposed to get a Rhine River cruise similar to the boat rides we have in Norway and Mexico. But like the Italian ride, this was scrapped due to budget cuts. I've been asked a lot what are my favorite places to eat while in the parks, and I have to say Japan probably has the best food options. The Katsuya Grill is probably my go-to place when I want something quick to eat. If you're looking to enjoy a nice sit-down meal, you have three choices. Japan Ito is a great place for hibachi, while Tokyo Dining is more suited for sushi lovers. And the newest addition is Takumi Thai, which is billed as an immersive dining experience that takes 3 hours and is $60 per person. For shopping, there's a replica Japanese department store where you could stock up on snacks as well as try on some traditional Japanese clothing. This land is also home to yet another unbuilt Epcot attraction. We were supposed to get a Mount Fuji roller coaster sponsored by Fujifilm, but Kodak, who sponsored Journey into Imagination, didn't want their competition advertising in the same park. So, a little peek behind the curtain. If you want to make the top three of this list, you need to have a ride. I'm sorry, but I don't make the rules. But luckily for France, they sneak into the top of this list by making Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in 2021. By the way, why is every ride nowadays named something with the words adventure or journey? Anyway, back to France. A lot of these countries have fountains in their pavilions, but I feel France has done it the best so far. If you're looking for fine dining, you better make reservations fast at Monsieur Paul's because they're only open from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. As far as shopping, you could buy imported wines from a shop that I won't even try to pronounce. Unfortunately, this isn't Costco and samples aren't free. And if you need a place to cool off, you can watch Impressions de France that explores the beauty of the French countryside. Going back to how I mentioned how every ride nowadays is either called Adventure or Journey of something or other, the original name for Maelstrom, which was the attraction here before Frozen Ever After, was supposed to be called Sea Venture. So maybe this isn't a new phenomena after all. Another little known fact is that this was actually supposed to be the Denmark Pavilion rather than Norway, but the deal never got done for money reasons. For those of you who watch some of my older videos, you'll know that I was terrified of Maelstrom as a kid. So I spent most of my time in this gift shop eating Toblerones while whoever wasn't watching me could ride the attraction in peace. But what I didn't cover in those older videos is the mini museum that has depictions of Norwegian folklore and trinkets, while giving descriptions of their gods such as Loki and Odin. There's also a hut that has a sod roof, so a cast member actually has to go on top of the building to mow the grass. I can't think of a job I want less than mowing a lawn on a roof. The start to any Great World Showcase visit begins with Mexico, and right off the bat, you have two options for food. You could grab something quick at the cantina, or enter the Aztec Temple and eat at San Angel on the waters of the Three Caballeros boat ride. As you can see, this pavilion is a little more compact than the others since it's almost entirely indoors, but I feel it gives it a certain charm most other lands are lacking. Although I've never been to Mexico, so I don't want to speak on the authenticity of the aesthetics, but I would imagine this is what shopping in a real Mexican market would look like. I also love how the walls are painted to look like you're walking around these shops at dusk. And that attention to detail is why I think this is a cut above any other pavilion and World Showcase. Especially if you're a tequila drinker, because La Cava has over 200 top shelf cocktails. But that'll do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it, but let me know what other lists you'd like me to cover in the future. So until next time, drop a like if you enjoyed this, subscribe if I earned it, join the Patreon only if you can, and thank you for watching.